Alright guys, I just got back from watching Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and well, I do have some thoughts. Some good, some not so good. But I think the overall hype and criticism going around this movie is not all warranted, and there's a lot of good stuff to be had here, so let's get back to my place, and then we're gonna get into a real in-depth look at Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So let's go. So, right off the bat, let's address the elephant in the room, and that's the controversial 3D animation they decided to go with for this movie. The trend is becoming more and more real, as a lot of studios are now trying to push into this 3D market and move away from the traditional 2D animation. So let's get into this a little bit more. We are seeing this happen across so many IPs that the industry is really trying to push this style of animation, despite the backlash of fans hating how this looks. I'm definitely no exception. I hate 3D anime and think it looks absolutely horrible. It looks like a video game cutscene and loses so much of its character, and to me personally, it loses what makes anime, well, anime. I know we recently got the Trigun Stampede trailer, which I was so excited for. I won't ever forget as a kid getting Adult Swim for the first time, which had a block of anime shows at night, and Trigun was one of them, and it blew me away with this more mature, darker anime that I've never seen before. And so when I heard Vash the Stampede was making a comeback, I was so damn excited. Well, until they showed us that new trailer that just dropped, and we also see they went into the 3D side of things and completely just ruined Trigun for me. Now, can 3D animation work in a movie? Absolutely. I think 3D does have a place within anime, and within time, I think the style can be perfected to really take anime to another level that it currently can't do with just traditional 2D animation. We can see this within Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer has perfected 2D and 3D, combining both aspects to make this beautiful animation. Also, the benefit to 3D animation versus 2D is that the 2D you have to animate every single frame, going frame by frame by frame. There isn't really too many shortcuts you can take to really speed up the process, so it's always very expensive to animate things. With 3D animation, the upfront cost is higher because you have to design all the models and landscapes, but the beauty of that is once they are done, you now always have them, which will dramatically reduce the costs for future projects. So if you want to know why did Dragon Ball go the 3D route, well, it's safe to say this is exactly why. Money. The Broly movie was hugely successful and was 98% 2D animation, getting some of the most iconic animators in the industry to work on the project, but this is also very costly, like I already mentioned. So when making the Broly movie, and the cost to make that movie requires a return on that investment almost immediately because they can't reuse anything for future projects. So they will want to play it safe and make something they know has a high chance to land with the audience. So this is where I like the idea of 3D allowing studios to feel safer in taking more of a risk in a project they can't guarantee will be hugely successful off the bat. This is the Dragon Ball problem in a nutshell, and how everything revolves around Goku and Vegeta, and everyone else has been majorly sidelined, which really just kind of pisses me off. I've been screaming at the rooftops for years now, begging Toei to give some focus on the other characters and show some love to guys like Krillin, Tien, Gohan, and Piccolo, and well, they have all been greatly reduced to not doing much of anything, and mainly just used to buy time for Goku to kind of just show up. So that brings us to the superhero movie, which leaves me really kind of conflicted here. We finally get that movie that I've been begging for, a story not focused on Goku or Vegeta, and instead completely focused on Gohan and Piccolo. Though the price we pay for this story is 3D animation. But okay, enough of that. We will spend some more time on the animation itself later in this video, but let's get into the story a little bit here.
家内さんで独自に研究を続けているようです。
それは好都合じゃないか。
So the movie is confirmed to take place after the Granola arc from the manga, so that helps us give some context for what's going to come, because we do see Goku and Vegeta out on Beerus' planet training with Broly, which conveniently leaves them all occupied while everyone else is remaining on Earth. So this takes us to the Red Ribbon Army, who has a front called Red Pharmaceuticals, and they try to recruit the grandson of Dr. Gero, and that's Dr. Hedo, who is also a super intelligent scientist who then goes on to create Gammas 1 and 2, and another character that we will get into a little later here to not fully spoil everything off the bat. Magenta is the one who hires Dr. Hedo, as he's the current president of the company, and of course, like every good villain, they want to take over the world, but he knows in order to accomplish this, he needs something that can defeat the Z Warriors, which is why Dr. Hedo and Magenta are working together. Though right off the bat, you can tell that Dr. Hedo doesn't really have an interest in being evil. He just has an interest in science and wanting to flex his skills any way possible, and so Magenta basically gives him unlimited funding that he can pursue his dreams, so he's willing to cooperate in making strong, powerful heroes. Well, quote-unquote heroes. This is why he makes Gamma 1 and 2 look like classic superheroes. They are meant to be good, but are brainwashed in thinking that the Z Warriors are the bad ones that need to be stopped. We get to see Piccolo training with Pan, who has grown up quite a bit as she is no longer a baby and is in the process of learning how to fly. So once Piccolo drops Pan off, we finally get to see Gohan, who of course is simply working on his academics, and Piccolo is annoyed with him because he's been slacking on his training and seeming weaker. Once Piccolo heads back to his place is where we finally get the first taste of some action, as Gamma 2 shows up with a surprise attack and wants to test his skills versus Piccolo. They exchange a few blows where Gamma 2 thinks he won easily, but we can see it didn't really do anything much to Piccolo. So Piccolo takes this opportunity and decides to follow Gamma 2 back to his hideout, and this is where we see Piccolo wear that disguise we see in the trailers and find out that Red Ribbon is in fact back and have their eyes set on the Z Warriors. Now, I'm not just going to be going step by step retelling the movie here, but I just wanted to tell the important part just to get the premise of the story, and now we know Piccolo's motivations is to stop Red Ribbon, and he needs Gohan's help, but he knows the best way to awaken Gohan's power is to put him in a situation that is going to make him lose it. So he accomplishes this by getting Pan to play along and get captured by the Red Ribbon army. Piccolo also was remembering how Krillin and Gohan got their potential unlocked by Guru back on planet Namek, so Piccolo wanted to see if Dende had the ability to do this for him and unlock his potential. When he talks to Dende, he admits he can't really do this, but what he can do is make some changes to the Dragon and have the Dragon unlock the potential for Piccolo. So Piccolo gets the Dragon Balls from Bulma and makes his wish, where the Dragon mentions he not only unlocked his potential, but also gave him a nice little special boost.
さあ、願いを言え。
お尻をもうちょっとキュッて上げてもらおうかな。
Oh yeah, you know exactly where this is going. Our boy Piccolo, he's getting a transformation.
ご飯見せてくれ。
Well, let's hold off on that just a little bit more, because first, Gohan does catch up here just because Pan has been captured, and so he shows up extremely pissed off. Gohan immediately starts fighting Gamma 1, and it was interesting because we once again saw Gohan go into Super Saiyan 2 first. Then, as the fight progresses, he unlocks Mystic, which seems to be the retcon from Super, but now it seems he can use either Super Saiyan depending how he sees fit, which I don't know why you would ever use Super Saiyan when you've got Mystic, which is just better in every single way. So just to be clear, I recall back in Dragon Ball Z, Mystic was a permanent mode and he couldn't go back to Super Saiyan. But then in Super, he seems to have forgotten how to use Mystic and relied on Super Saiyan until Piccolo helped him unlock Mystic once again before the Tournament of Power. And so now he can go Super Saiyan and then into Mystic and control both forms, I guess. All right, now let's focus on Piccolo here for a minute, because like I mentioned earlier, our boy went and got a power-up from the Dragon, and now we finally get to see him unleash this new power-up and get a slight change where he's more of a light orange hue while battling Gamma 2.
いらん！いつ俺がそんなものを好きだなんて言った！
He also seemed to have some new powers as well. He was utilizing a lot of psychic-like attacks, grabbing rocks and debris while throwing them at Gamma 2, like Obi-Wan was doing against Darth Vader. I guess Piccolo is confirmed to be a Jedi. So Piccolo, despite this power-up, is still struggling versus Gamma 2 and gets KO'd. But as he's falling, he awakens a new power-up that the Dragon mentioned as a nice little bonus. That's right, our boy gets a full-on transformation. We finally have a non-Saiyan transformation. I'm so excited to finally see it happen. It feels like it's been forever since we saw someone who isn't a Saiyan get something, anything. Now our boy looks like the damn Hulk. looking all thick and ready to crush some skulls. I honestly really like this look. I know I see a lot of people online complaining, saying they aren't a big fan of it, but personally, I think it's great. I was a little skeptical before when it was just the orange hue change, but now that he gets a full-on physical change into this new form, I think it's a really good look for him, and I hope we continue to see it going forward. We also get to see just how much stronger this makes him as he starts to pummel Gamma 2, as Gamma 2 isn't even in the same league anymore to Orange Piccolo. Oh, did I mention the name they are going with is, well, yeah, Orange Piccolo. Yeah, not the greatest name, that could use some work. So the Gammas seem to be aware that Piccolo and Gohan are not actually the enemies and are being played, so this means Magenta has to resort to plan B, but also the cavalry arrives. That's right, the highlight of the movie finally shows up, and that's none other than my boy Krillin. Oh, you think I'm joking? Cause I'm really not. He's hands down my favorite character in the entire Dragon Ball universe. And anytime I get to see him help out and do some stuff, I'm always excited for it. And awesome to see him show up once again and in his police uniform. So yeah. Now, that's not all. We do get to finally see Goten and Trunks show up, and they are teenagers. So we did get to see them grow up, and Piccolo does mention it. And then Gohan has a throwaway line here that he says that Saiyan stays small and then have a huge growth spurt, but they seem to be growing like normal humans do. And on top of that, Piccolo was literally there to watch Gohan grow up. So I'm not sure why Gohan is telling Piccolo something he has firsthand experience in. It doesn't make any sense. Also, Gohan is just kind of simply wrong here. He did age like a pretty normal human, and we did see him get bigger slowly, as one normally does. Trunks and Goten seem to be no different in this area as well. Just a weird, pointless throwaway line that I'm now spending a lot of time talking about. So anyway, back to the point. Magenta awakens the sleeping gun. And how can we have an Android 2.0 arc without the legend himself? That's right, Cell is back. Or is he? Well, they kind of went for the Bio Broly approach here, just making Cell this mindless monster who has insane strength, but is just completely out of control, just like Bio Broly. I personally would have much rathered we actually saw the return of real Cell with all of his intelligence and arrogance, because outside of the character's design, this really wasn't Cell in any meaningful way. So Gohan, Piccolo, Gamma 1 and 2 are all taking on Max Cell. Oh yeah, that's his name. They went with Max Cell. As expected, none of them are able to hold their own versus him, but it's still not enough. So my boy Krillin joins in the process and helps with attacks. So then we have Gamma 2 use 100% of his power to try and kamikaze Max Cell. Oh, and shout out again to my boy Krillin. He blinds Max Cell with Taioken to allow Gamma 2 to get that hit on Cell more accurately. And this is exactly the type of stuff I want to see. Teamwork. Teamwork. Just show me more of this. Lots of teamwork from all of the characters getting moments to do stuff to help shift the tide of the fight. But okay, anyway, unfortunately it didn't work. Despite Gamma 2 giving all of his power into that attack, he managed to hurt Cell, but not really stop him in any meaningful way. So rest in peace, Gamma 2. Max Cell grows huge, so Krillin tells Piccolo to do the same, and we get to have a giant battle with two of them, and Piccolo doing his best to hold off Max Cell while Gohan powers up. This literally is exactly the same formula that we get with Vegeta and Goku. In this movie, Piccolo is Vegeta and Gohan is Goku. So while Piccolo takes a beating, Gohan continues to power up, but the moment things don't look good for Piccolo and he seems like he's about to die, Gohan goes basically berserk, and as he snaps, as he did versus Cell back in the day, we get another callback with that bird with the famous red line behind Gohan. Then we get Gohan starting to transform. We get a new transformation for Gohan. That's right, Ultra Instinct. Wait, hold on. That's not quite right. I think it's Beast Gohan. Yes, that's it. Because he has red eyes, so it makes it different. Despite the joke here, I actually like the design here a lot. He has long white hair, just really dialing the anime hair to 11, making it as huge as possible, but also making his skin a more pale white color. And of course, red eyes, hence becoming a beast. Get it? Beast Gohan. Then the movie, after this point, kind of loses all purpose as Gohan is just way too strong now and Cell is no longer a threat. So Cell does what he does best and goes for that kamikaze, let's destroy the entire planet idea, which doesn't work this time as Piccolo holds Cell down and Gohan utilizes a little old technique we all know and love from our boy Piccolo, and that's the Makengo Sappo. For us here in North America, the Special Beam Cannon. That's right, we got to see Gohan use the Special Beam Cannon for the first time. Piccolo also mentions it to him like, when the hell did you learn that? And he does mention he has been training, just wasn't telling Piccolo about it. So they managed to stop Cell and save the day without Goku or Vegeta's help. And honestly, I'm so down with this idea. I love to see stories that have other characters getting time to shine and show off what they can do. Overall, the story was pretty standard for a Dragon Ball story. And that's basically, well, there really isn't much of one. The story is kind of always just trying to get the characters from point A to point B so they can start fighting. And that's kind of the whole formula of a Dragon Ball movie. Yeah, like literally every Dragon Ball movie. Dragon Ball doesn't really deviate from the formula here at all. And other than replace Goku with Gohan and Vegeta with Piccolo, you got the same story you really would get in any movie. So what about the CGI? At times I honestly didn't mind it. I would forget I'm watching a CGI movie and it looked really good. But then at other times, the CGI looked really CGI and would take me right out of the movie and just felt like a video game cutscene. So I do strongly still dislike CGI in my anime, but this movie also isn't the worst CGI movie of them all. I would say it's among the better anime movies that utilize CGI, but can we just please stop and go back to what makes anime art and look great in 2D? It's just so much better and feels like it has just so much more soul. Unfortunately, it seems like this is the direction anime is going, and at some point 2D animation will simply be a thing of the past, and it's something we'll probably only get on rare occasions, which honestly kind of sucks. Japan and hand-drawn animation were some of the best in the world and is what excelled anime to be as popular as it is worldwide today. Now, this, despite not being the worst thing in the world, does feel like a giant step backwards and will lose that thing that makes it just special. Now, not just to be all doom and gloom here, I will point out something else that's positive about this is that I did mention at the beginning of this video, this does allow for future movies to be cheaper to produce, and therefore that potentially allows us to maybe make a movie focused on the humans like Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, Chaozu, and maybe Master Roshi, because even if the movie doesn't make as much money as this one did, it doesn't require as high of a bar to cross to get into the profit margins, which if that is the case, then I would be happy to see a CGI human story. I would be first in line for that. Please give me that. Though I do still doubt we will get that no matter how many times I yell from the rooftop to give me more and more love to the human characters. I know the fans are out there. There are plenty of Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin fans, Master Roshi fans, hell, even Chaozu fans. We just want a movie to show them some love. Please, Toei, please. So overall, I honestly enjoyed the movie. It wasn't the greatest Dragon Ball movie ever, but it was still a fun one. And if you're a fan of Dragon Ball and set your expectations to what you normally get within a Dragon Ball movie, then you're going to get more of that. Dragon Ball, for better or worse, is not a story-driven series. No matter how much I really kind of want it to be, it just kind of never will be. But Dragon Ball does what it does best, and that's punchy stuff. Also, Piccolo and Gohan's new forms are pretty badass, and look forward to seeing them utilize these forms more in the future. Who knows? Will the humans get the ability to transform one day? Let me know in the comments. If you think it's possible, what do you think the transformation would look like for a human? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing, hitting the like button is a huge help, and click the bell to be notified when I drop my next video. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next video.